So this is for B Tools Dennis. Hello, please. I need your help with good advice on Peugeot EW10 engine. My engine smokes white in the morning and shows engine oil, though not much. My mechanic says it's on its early stage and will get worse with time. First, he advised on rings, which I'm skeptical because I don't know if the original material needed is available to do a job that will take long, because I'm somewhat not also sure if the engine is changed, how long will it serve? Please treat my request. Well, I'm always for engine rebuild, you know. Just as depending on how bad it is, it can be more expensive than changing, or cost more than changing the engine. That's buying another engine in good condition. Um, so sometimes it's just easier to just buy another one and mount. But what see, I also do advise engine replacement, sometimes. But people like us, what I'm saying, sometimes people really don't understand. Those of us that drive classic cars, 505, 504, 404, there are no used engines in the market. Like, I mean, good used engines. None. Doesn't matter how, whatever the person claims. All these are weak engines. So what you do, you buy, you rebuild. So most times you'll be like, why bother when you can rebuild your own? So that's what we do. You will rebuild. When they become weak, you dismantle the parts. They used to be more easily available, but now they started becoming parts. But you can still do that. I have contacts that have some of those parts. New crankshafts, I'm telling you. New engine cylinder, no, new engine block. Everything you want on that engine, you can get it new, like the older car. So, in other words, you can build a new engine, which I did. So, you can't compare that new engine to the one that have been used. You don't know how it was used. So, that's why people always having the option of changing the engine. You see, I don't know which car it says EW engine, EW10J4 engine. Give it time. Maybe next 5 or 10 years, see that EW10J4 engine, you will see it again in the market. So in that case, if you have a Peugeot car with that engine and you want to keep the car for long, and the engine at some point becomes weak, but the parts are available to rebuild it, won't you? We'll even be talking about replacement. That's what I'm saying. You're only talking replacement because you have the option to buy another one. When there is no more option of the engine replacement, then you won't even bother about it. The only thing is, um, as long as there are parts for you to do the rebuild, why not? But the only problem I have with rebuild is if you meet, because majority of mechanics now in Nigeria do not know how to rebuild engines. It's just unfortunate. Unlike those days in the era of 504, 505, where basically almost every mechanic can dismantle and change the rings, do all those things. Not all. So you see, your engine to last for you after rebuild. Sometimes it determines how good the person that did that rebuild is. Some will you might get the original parts and do everything. Engine might not even serve you more than a year to it will break, because reassembling them, you need to be that good to be able to do that technically. Some people don't know how to change rings. Some will change it in the next 1 week. It will even become worse than it was before you change the rings. While some will change it, the same rings, it's not like a different quality of rings. That same one they used before I didn't last. Another person will remove the old rings, put that same ring, because of the way he packaged it, did it well and everything. It will last, it may last you another 100,000 kilometers or so, or less, or a few years before sign of weakness will come up again. So it all depends on the technical know-how. when it comes to engine review. So that's why sometimes when people don't like doing engine review because of past experiences, if you give it to somebody that doesn't know how to do it properly, most mechanics always claim they know how to do until you give them, and then they will mess up the engine. So if you know you have someone that know how to do that, then it's not a problem. But it's just that there are also some company, it depends on degree of weakness of the engine. That's why I always tell people, if your engine starts to short oil, if you notice it on time, start planning towards engine rebuild. Don't wait till it becomes that bad. For example, if when it gets to a point where it's no longer about the rings or pistons or stuff, then it has affected the engine block, it has affected the crankshaft, your camshaft, your cylinder head. By the time you want to go and buy all those things, you'll be like, you can as well buy another engine. You understand? Because it means you have to look for used one that you don't know how the conditions are. Because it's most ways easier. Since those such things are mentioned, it will be hard to get new ones for engines like EW10J4. So it's going to be used ones that might not be in a good condition, probably better than the old one that got grinded or got broken. So, but the bearings are there, new ones are there. So don't let your engine get so bad before you rebuild it. That's my point. So that what you spend will be less. So, I don't know what to repeat, but your mechanic was right in terms of do it on time before it gets bad. Since he has started to blow blue, he said white smoke. I always call it bluish white smoke. That's oil burning out. So it's up to you, whichever one you choose. You know, will it last? Changing oil rings, considering you may not get high quality rings in Nigeria. Will it last like a good used engine? Probably not. If a Tokumbo engine will last you 20 years before it becomes weak, that is in good condition, another good used engine, maybe rebuilding it by changing the rings, maybe only by serving maybe another 2 years or so before it starts showing sign of weakness again. I could be last you much longer than that. It all depends on also how you follow the instruction after the engine rebuild. Some people, immediately the engine is rebuilt, they start to hit the RPM to red line without following the engine braking procedure. So the engine will wear out rapidly, and all the efforts will be in vain. So since somebody commented, he said, does it overheat? Do you notice shortage in the water? You might be looking at a weak head gasket. Give more information. The thing is, sometimes when people say white smoke, it's most like usually bluish white. You know, as long as I started shutting oil and there's no leakage, it might not just be uh, overheating issue. So if you look very well, you could observe that maybe it's not just pure white. It could be a little bit bluish. So, I mean, the mechanic could be, it sounded like mechanic knows what he's doing based on his advice. So, if you have the money, buy another engine, put. If you don't, then rebuild. It will be cheaper. Since it's just for now, if your engine sound is okay, of course, you have to check your bearings, your crank bearings, and the rest. But even at that, it will still be cheaper than engine replacement. EW10J4 engine is not even cheap. You're looking at about over 500,000 now, depending where you're buying anyway. Alright. This is from Aquavita. It said in that particular engine 3.0 V6, the rear ignition coil usually fail because they heat up significantly more than the front coils. My wild guess is that it could be probably the problem I don't remember what I talked about in this video. But as for your comment that it's because the rear heat up, uh, the ignition coil they don't actually fail as much as the way you are saying that. From my own experience, apart from that, this ES9J4S, ES9A, of course they came with that Sagem black top ignition coils. So ever since the only one that failed in my car was the my ES9A, my 407 coupe. One of the cylinders had is it no, it wasn't Sagem. It was one coil, but black top as well, replaced by previous owner, or I don't know who mounted it there. It wasn't so, but it was one of those unreliable, unreliable. You can say unreliable ignition coil. They don't last like those white top, like Delphi or I think it's Delphi. So imagine since 2013, I've used three of these ES engines. None of them have had ignition coil failure, except this particular one that is, which was even in front. Funny enough, he failed while I was in a journey. He was in front of the, it was bank one, among the three in front. So it wasn't even about that. So the coils, they hardly fail. Forget that it might be showing you 40. Missile will come up, you think it's coil. From my experience, most of it has not been coil. It might tell you coil control. Eventually, it could be vacuum leak or intake manifold. It could be spark plug. It could be, data injector. It could be the connector. That connector that enters ignition coil on that ES engine. Then sometimes they are, they don't grip on those pins that comes out of the ignition coil. Those two pins, they don't grip on it well again because they've expanded. So any small thing, the misfire will come up. I've done a video of what you could do to be able to grip on those things. Better still, replace the connectors. You'll be surprised. The missile will go away for a long time. I'm talking about months, if not more than a year or two, or thousands of kilometers. So it's just that over here they don't sell the coils, the connectors of those coils. I've seen them online, like on AliExpress, but the quality of those ones, their wires are very tiny. They won't be able to handle ignition coil. Those ignition coils are supposed to have thick wires, but those ones are found online. So that's why I'm not. And I do come across used wires, but I'm like, come on. I'll just leave the ones there and see what I can do. My Z9, I changed the connectors though. I use a different model of connectors. So yeah, connectors usually most of the causes of this misfire people don't know. They always fall. You tell you ignition coil control, this one, that. You assume it's your coils. Usually most are not the coil. Not saying those coils cannot fail. It has never failed on me since 2013 till today. 3 engines. So that's what I'm saying. Aside that one that somebody put that was not that dev, that was the one that failed. But you see every other one has not failed. So yeah, I'm not saying that the rear ones probably don't hit up more than the front one, but still it has not been the cause from my own personal experience, not because of that heat. All right. This one, Patrick Walker, says, sorry about the damage to that bushing. Same reasons I like to be on ground when some of these mechanics are handling my car. Some are just too careless, and their carelessness costs you more money. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. It doesn't matter what you tell, especially for 505. People may not know that rear cross member bushing. They call it beam bushing, camber bushing, all that. They don't care. Before you know it, they will put the jack on the wrong one, expecting that that bushing will be able to lift the entire car up and without separating from the camber or the other. I mean, I don't know. So you tell them, man. Even this one, after changing, I had to. There was a time I had to because there was another workshop. I was working on other people's cars, so I had to go back there. I told them, see, if you are, even though you change, if you are bringing this thing down, please do not put jack there. I just couldn't help. I just had to go to. I couldn't be there because the work was not finished that day. So I had to. The next day, I needed to do some work on other people's cars on a different workshop. So I had to sacrifice my own car. So I couldn't tell whether he followed that my instruction. I'm beginning to hear one kind of noise, which sounds as if one of them has broken. You see these people, you just, they don't care. It doesn't matter. You tell them everything. They're like, hey, this one. Anything that will make their work easy, even if it damage your car in the process, it's none of their business. To them, they are used to those noise. They'll be like, come on, what's it? I've been doing it for 10 years, for 50 years, 100 years. I've never seen one that cause any problem. To them, that noise you might not be comfortable with. I mean, they are used to, these days, 504, 505, you see, most of them are not even private use. They're mostly commercial. So those commercial people will not complain. So they see it that way. Why is this person complaining? So it's possible that one of them has even broken. Like I said, it's sometimes I like doing this work myself. Trust me, there was a time nobody would touch my 505, especially that V6. But as for some species has been increasing at my workplace, and now I do work on other people's cars. I know this 505 is taking it to other workshops where I work. They don't know anything about these older model cars, Peugeot car, nothing, nada. So I have to now, time I will be using, which Saturdays, I will just have to give it to some of those mechanics, one or two mechanics that know that familiar with these older Peugeot cars, and risk it. While I'm doing this one there, maybe they will help me out on that one. So that's the risk I had to take. So, okay. This is from Gustavo Bentancort. He said, Master, do you have BSI value fuse function? Each one? Can you hear me? I don't understand what you mean by BSI value fuse function. You mean the diagram or something? I don't know. Okay, so I'm ending this one here. I kind of have cold, so need to take care of that. So hopefully when next I will continue with this response to some of these comments. Alright, so like this video, subscribe to the channel, and watch out for videos like this for more, so you to educate yourself more. Alright.